Rachel Zegler is one of the most hated women in Hollywood currently, and it's no surprise to see why. She has constantly belittled fans of the original Snow White and just fans of the Disney Renaissance in general. But now, after trashing the animated original, she is changing her tune, saying she loves everything that Disney has ever put out, and people are roasting her over it. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. So, this is a Bounding into Comics article. It says, in a change of tune ostensibly inspired by the absolutely massive backlash from even general audiences against her original opinion, after having trashed and dismissed Disney's animated original, live-action Snow White star Rachel Zegler has now taken to claiming that she actually loves everything the studio has released in the past century. Now, this is damage control at its finest. She has sat down with PR teams who have told her, you need to cut the crap, you need to act more in line with how Holly Bailey had acted during The Little Mermaid, which was let other people say, more controversial things, and then she is the one who is going, wow, I love this original movie. I love the fans. I've never said anything controversial because even though the Little Mermaid live action adaptation was controversial, the lead actress herself wasn't, but Rachel Zegler has not done that over the past year or so. She has gone into interviews, she has said extremely controversial things, and it's like she doesn't care, and it is finally coming to, bite her in the butt. She is facing so much backlash, and even though she has now come out and changed her tune, it is not working with audiences. So it says the Hunger Games star offered her updated take while speaking to fellow Disney actress Holly Bailey for Variety's Actors on Actors interview series, and this was basically just a giant Disney princess pity party. I did another video on it and it will be linked down below, but they just consistently were talking about how terrible people treated them and how much backlash their movies have faced and how they just need to leave the hate in the past and move on. It says, following a discussion regarding their experiences in dealing with the criticisms levied towards their respective castings, Bailey eventually moved to ask her colleague, you are opening so many doors for your whole community as well. What was that like? Is it pressure? And Zegler had then went on to say how much she loves the original. The cartoon is so beloved. It was the first feature-length cartoon movie. Wow, she actually used Google this time. It won honorary Oscars, and all of these amazing things that happened for that film are the reason that you and I get to sit here today, because it made Disney what it is. Obviously, that's come with a lot of pressure. Much like Hunger Games, there's a very dedicated group of people who love Disney cartoons. I'm one of them. I love everything that Disney has put out in the past 100 years, and the lie detector has determined that that is a lie because she called the prince a stalker and creepy. She said that they needed to modernize this, film going into the live action adaptation because it was outdated. Like, clearly she does not love everything that they have put out, especially the movie that she is now starring in, but audiences are not buying this PR. People are not going to change their tune with her. People are not going to give her another chance, and ultimately I do think that this movie is going to suffer. I mean, we heard months ago that Disney was going to be having crisis meetings over this and trying to figure out how to win general audiences back, and it definitely seems like they've already begun. When it comes to this Variety actor on actor session, you have to consider that it was only supposed to be in 3 months that this adaptation came out, so this was supposed to be, the beginning of the press tour for them. And obviously that's not happening since it was delayed till March 2025, but this still had to come out, and yeah, I mean, she's still got a year to mess things up when it comes to the way that audiences view her. She can still say controversial things, but the Daily Wire had actually posted this clip, and people are furious at her, saying, damn, they really told her toe the line or we will ruin you. Too late for that project. It's fun watching her, tread career water, though. She really has made herself one of the most disliked actresses in Hollywood currently. Yes, Hunger Games was, a movie that did not make as much money as they wanted. It still did decent in theaters. It at least made its money back, its budget back, but we're not talking about the next Jennifer Lawrence here. We're not talking about an actress who is in, a franchise so far that has absolutely blown up in popularity. I mean, the only other real movie that she was in was West Side Story, which did pretty good, but general audiences were a little bit mixed on it. They had mixed opinions. And then, of course, she was in Shazam, which she was just a side character in that. And people even said then she's not that great of an actress. Disney says, do what we say or start flipping burgers. Disney pulled her by the collar hard. It definitely seems like they got her a new PR team, made her sit down, made her read these lines over and over and over until they were, ingrained in her memory, burned into her brain. And it makes sense though, because she has already done so much damage to this film that is not repairable, at least in my opinion. I don't see a way that even with the year delay, they could change the tune that people have with either Rachel Zegler or this adaptation as well, because she isn't even the only problem with this movie. You also have to consider all the controversy with the dwarves that were turned into the magical companions, which now just look like CGI dwarves. We don't know exactly what else they're going to be doing with this movie, but it's still going to be a modern take on Snow White, where she is still a leader and she wants to lead her people into a better future, which of course was never Snow White. We know that this movie also does not feature as much romance because apparently Rachel Zegler didn't want as many romantic scenes in this film. So it just seems that it is still going to be a disaster. Even if they delay it by a year, they delay it by another year after the 2025 date. It does not matter. They could shadow drop it tomorrow and it is still going to be a controversial movie that I don't think is going to do all that well in theaters. And allegedly they've spent $330 million on this movie, so they need to make at least $660 million in order for them to begin to make money, and I just do not see that happening. But yes, now Rachel Zegler has clearly got a brand new PR team who's telling her exactly what to say, and it's not going over well because people are still calling her out and absolutely roasting her for the things that she said in the past, because unfortunately for actresses like Rachel Zegler, the internet never forgets. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.